Hey there, hope you're doing good. If you're building any kind of product, be it a web app, mobile app, or anything else, you should use analytics, be it Firebase Analytics, Mixpanel, Amplitude, or anything else. Why? For these reasons. The first is that what people say is different from what they do. So in FutureCam, my earlier startup, I had a potential user who was very excited and he was knowledgeable about photography, who was the exact target audience. So I shared the app with him and he expressed enthusiasm. When I looked at analytics, it turned out he used the app for 8 seconds in total. When I asked him how the app was, he said, "Yeah, it's very good, etc., etc." So I told him, "But you used it only for 8 seconds." And he had some excuse. It turned out he was telling me what I wanted to hear for whatever reason, right? Some people are incapable of saying no, or I'm not interested, or this is not a good app for me, or whatever it may be. They feel the need to be agreeable. So, this is why you should look at people's behavior. Now, you can look at people's behavior over their shoulders, but people behave differently when you're watching. They don't give up easily, for example, if something is confusing. And you'll also get more data this way with less time. Like how many users will you sit in person with? I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I'm saying you should implement analytics anyway. Of course, you should talk to users, but you should also have analytics because it gets you data from more users and it is aggregated and you see patterns rather than anecdotal information. For example, I found that only 3% of users used a particular feature, time lapse. This kind of thing you can't be sure about when you talk to people in person. If someone doesn't use it, does it mean that he doesn't use it? Or does it mean that in general it's a niche feature? The second reason you should use analytics is quantified learnings. When I hired a visual designer to make a logo, it doubled the download rate. In fact, startups are not a tool that build products, they are a tool that validate hypothesis, at least in the initial stage. That should be your goal, to validate, either prove or disprove as many hypotheses as possible, and of course relevant to your business. Only then will you improve and make better decisions in the future. Otherwise, you'll be doing things out of dogma, or because your friend says so, or because someone on Hacker News says so. Knowing this, I know that the first thing I'll do if I build another app is hire a professional designer to create a logo. And you have limited time, so you need this learning so that you focus your time where it is best used, where it gives you the most results. The other reason you should use analytics is that it saves time. In FutureCam, I enhanced a feature, but it turned out no one was using it. So that was a waste of time. Analytics will tell you such things. And then you can first drive more traffic to that feature and then improve it. Moving on, you can use analytics from an engineering point of view as well to log errors that are happening or assertions. This is something that the PM would not be interested in, but the engineering team is interested in. Think of it as the app monitoring itself and logging things to the server. This is important if you want to have good quality. The final reason to use analytics is to identify demographics. For example, are your typical users men in their 30s in developed countries? This will help you knowing at least something about their tastes and preferences. For example, they are not interested in making their lips red, men in 30s typically. So you can build appropriate features. Whereas if your app is more for teenage girls, they may like a different set of features. So demographics helps. It also helps for marketing. So anyway, these are the reasons you should use analytics in every product.